What's up, everybody? We're going to talk about some of the work we need to do when we're gone. This is classwork number 1, and this is based off the notes from yesterday. We need to graph this circle, and this is an easy thing to do. We know that the radius comes from this number 9, but remember, it is the radius squared. That means that 9 is actually 3 squared, and so the radius is 3. We have -6 and -1. That tells us that we're going to choose 6 and 1. Remember, the center is always opposite signs. So -6 means +6. -1 means +1. I'm going to go to 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Remember, this is the x direction and this is the y direction. There's 6, 1. And my radius is 3. I'm going to get the corners of my circle, even though circles don't have corners, using the radius. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. At this point, I have the center, I have the corners, and now I'm just going to make a nice circle. I don't expect it to be the best thing ever. Normally I like to do like 3 laps. I find that if I do 3 laps around the circle, that it gets a little bit better. And there we go. I think that's a pretty great circle and an accurate representation of this graph. I want to look at question number 3. 64 is not the radius. The radius is 8 because it is 8 squared. The center is going to be at 0, -2, because 0, 2, but we need to choose opposites. Again, my center would be 0, -2, and I would get my corners. 1, 4. Now, importantly, I said this yesterday, do not look at my paper and try to count to 8. Count to 8. You are a smart student in geometry. Don't be looking at my paper. Just count. 2 down, 8, 8, 8, 8. You can handle that. Draw a circle. It's going to be a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Now it looks pretty good. Okay, now down here, we're asked to look at this and come up with the center and the radius. The center here is going to be 9, 4, opposites, and the radius is not 400. It needs to be the square root of 400. So this is where we might need to open up Desmos. And type the square root of 400, which is 20. So my radius is 20. Now, we did not quite get all the way. That looks horrible. Gross. Oh, this freaking computer sucks, man. Okay, we didn't quite get to using some of these other questions. We did one with diameter. For this question, for diameter, it's a +1, -1. Opposites, -1, +1. 256, maybe you don't know what 256 is. 2, 5, 6, 16. Now it says the diameter. It's not 256, but it's not 16. The diameter is 2 radiuses. And so the answer is 32. That's 16 plus 16 because it's radius plus radius. Now, there's also questions like number 9. Question like number 9, we need to get the center, -7, -4. We need to get the radius. It's not 16, it's 4. But this question asks us for the circumference. The circumference, we talked about it and we wrote the formulas yesterday. It was the very last thing that we did. Here are the formulas again. The circumference is 2 pi r. Now, if we're trying to find the circumference and it's 2 times pi times r, this actually is pretty easy to do. We've got 4 as our r, and so it's 2 times pi times 4. I know that the pi is weird, but what is 2 times 4? We can handle this part. 2 times pi times 4. We can combine the 2 and the 4 to make 8 pi. Basically, when you're doing circumference, it's just double the radius and then you put a pi on there. The last one here at the bottom, I'll do this last one. -5, +2, 135. Now I know that 135 is not a very good number here. And so I've got my 135, which tells me 11.6. And it's a little bit gross. When it comes to the area, we can type all of this into Desmos. The area is another formula. Again, we wrote it on our notes yesterday. The area is pi r squared. Now, again, thinking caps, if we're talking about r squared, remember how we've been circling this and we've been saying that this is r squared? What happens if we take this number, square root 135, and we square it? It goes right back to regular 135. And so the area for this question is 135 pi. We can just take this number and put it here. Now we're starting to get to the point where some of these questions are a little bit tricky. Something that I challenged you with on Monday is you have to try. You have to actually pay attention. You have to take it serious. You have to write the formulas and you have to think a little bit, right? This circle stuff, you don't get this circle stuff for free. Okay, here's half the questions for the homework. Should be pretty quick to finish this first one and then move on to the next.